Hello everyone, it's Jen with Sensible Wellness and Yoga, and today we're gonna do a little lacrosse ball body massage. I'm gonna show all of my favorite points. We're gonna stick with each of them for 1 minute. It's totally cool if you only have one, or if you have a tennis ball or a golf ball. Feel like some of the points that the golf ball might not feel 100%. But another thing, if you have a sock and you know you at least have 2 tennis balls, have your sock ready because we're gonna do something with that too. And with that, we're gonna get started on a little self-care massage. Starting with point number 1, we are gonna do the bottom of the feet. Now I have a playlist below if you wanna hit play on that and just get into the self-care feels. And if you just wanna hang out with me talking, that's okay too. Our bottom of our feet, that plantar fascia can get super tight, especially from standing. I keep a lacrosse ball right where I take my shoes off at home, and I do this every single day because I have collapsing arches and this spot is always so tight. Taking it over to the other side. Now you can add more weight and pressure by doing this from a seated position or even standing on it if you feel like you need a little bit more leverage to put more weight down. You also don't always have to be circling it out. You can hold in one spot if that feels like a better release too. All right, we're gonna switch now to our calf. So I just like to do a little back and forth here. So many spots. Try a little forward and backwards motion. Okay, I'm gonna take it to the other side. Now when our calves are really tight, this is also really connected to the bottom of the foot getting tight. And I have both. So doing regular massage is really good for me, and a big reason why my calves always tighten is because I have those collapsing arches. So all the things. All right. Then our next spot, so I'll show before I lay on it, we're gonna go right beside the tailbone. So you have your little triangle here, and you have this nice muscle called piriformis right beside it. And this is definitely linked to the back tightening up, sciatica, so loosening it can feel good. A lot of times on this one, it doesn't take as much movement for me, and I kind of hold it more as like a trigger point release. You don't want to be on the bone. Once again, you're right kind of beside. And the muscle links in at your hip, so it's kind of like this band at the very top of the glute. Then you can take it over to the other side. Okay, now 2 options for this next one. If you only have one ball, then go right beside the spine, so you never want to be directly on it. We're going to work on the muscles that kind of align the spine. Now I'm going to use both of mine for this, and you can start at the low back. So maybe if you only have one, taking about 30 seconds to each side. I am going to do this as a little side to side and a little just like hold and go at a few different points along my low to middle back. This is also usually where I can get like a little pop. And I keep 2 lacrosse balls in my car, so I do a lot of work on my back while I'm in the car driving. This can feel really nice to do there as well. Make sure if you're only using one, you get both sides, and we're gonna head up to the shoulder. A few more seconds here. Okay, we're gonna go back to one ball, and you're gonna lay it right at your shoulder blade. So your shoulder blade, you want to go slightly off of it where all of that muscle tension can be right along the side. So yeah, for me, we're about right there. And it's okay if you do on the shoulder blade a little bit too. You have muscles that are along the border of it that can feel really good in massage, and you have a few more tender muscles that can be right on top of the shoulder blade. So kind of play with what feels good. And I like to have my arm up for this and do some circles, maybe some like forward, up and down punches. I feel like it helps you kind of get underneath where sometimes those muscles can feel kind of impossible to loosen up and actually get the knots out. And I have some good ones. All right, you can slide it up just a little bit. I find it hard to get the ones that are like closer to my neck actually laying on the floor. I feel like that's a lot easier for me to do against the wall. So that's also an option that you can take after. We're gonna do a whole floor routine for this video, but just some food for thought. All right, let's take it over to the other side and give it that same love. You can slide it up a little bit. Okay. Got that. Let's give the shoulders a break for a second. You can take the ball and have it in between your hands and just kind of give your hands a little massage. I also do this one all the time because texting thumb is a real thing. And for a lot of us, we have so much tension in that little triangle near our thumb. I think this is a really good way to get it out without exhausting the other hand, because if we use the opposite hand to massage it, we also can create the same problem on the other side. So I think this is really, really helpful for that. And then the final two we are going to take is going to be with the sock if you have two different balls. So if you have it, you can hang out for those two. Find a little love for this spot. All right, we're grabbing the sock. So the sock just helps kind of keep them together, and while we're already on our backs, we'll do just about 10 breaths for a little suboccipital release. So we're looking at taking the balls right to the base of the head. So you have a lot of muscles right along the hairline that attach right there. And so when you're ever having one of those tension headaches, this can be such an awesome way to get that. So you can have the sock really tight to where the balls actually stay together, or you can just have your hands lightly on the side. You're finding that sweet spot where it feels like it's almost cradling right at the base of your neck. Now this one isn't as much about a massage, but just so it holds. A couple more breaths here. Now feel free to hold these releases 5 to 10 minutes. We're going to do one other release for the hip. But you can always hang out in these a little longer, and that can feel really nice. All right, then our last and final point for this video, we are going to do a hip flexor release. So I'm going to show you while I am on my back, but we're going to flip over onto our stomachs. So right where that hip bone is, that little iliac crest, where if you were putting your hands on your hips, you would feel that little crest. We're going to go right to the inside of that, and we're going to have the balls one on top of the other. And then we're going to flip over and just let them land in that spot. So you might want to add just like a little pillow or something if you feel like it's not quite landing there. That can help. Sometimes we have a bit more of an arch in our back and it can be hard to find that spot. I'm like right on it. And you really want to breathe here. A lot of the reason our hips get so tight is not always just connected with you needing to stretch more. Our hip flexors really tighten from a lot of stress, a lot of busyness. So when we're working with the hip flexor, you always want to incorporate those longer exhales, feeling your body kind of wind down and soften. Let's do a couple more breaths here and we'll switch it to the other side. And once again, you can take a little longer if you need. All right, taking it over to the other side. You can feel that the longer you hold it, the deeper it kind of can get. Right, and then that concludes the releases. I hope this video has your body just feeling good after giving it that little bit of self-love. I will see you next time for more body movement practices. Thank you.